We are here with Jeff Dockweiler, Doc. So thrilled to have him here from the Paos Revolution. And this is a new organization that you guys started about 6 months ago?
Well, we started developing it about 1.5 to 2 years ago. We launched our website about 6 months ago.
Okay.
And it's a company that we're really proud of. It's a company that's based around the daytime world. Basically, the idea behind it was our motto was flip the script. I worked in the daytime world as an on-site coach for all my children. Jordi Villasuso, who's one of our partners, was an actor on All My Children. Okay. And then our third partner was John Homa, who was the on-set acting coach for General Hospital for 18 years.
Okay.
So since you liked that show back in the day.
I was just saying during the break that when I was in high school and college, my afternoon and I arranged my classes around it, All My Children, One Life to Live, and then General Hospital.
That's perfect.
And then my life got complicated and they all kind of fell by the wayside. And I was under the impression that 2 of the 3 were gone, but they're not.
No, they've both reemerged, and it's a part of what we're doing as well. We're not associated with Prospect Park, who bought the rights to the shows, but they are a friend of ours, and we've really helped them get into that world. What happened was they bought the rights to both those shows when they were canceled by ABC, and it took them 2 years, but they finally got all the contracts together with SAG, AFTRA, WGA, all that stuff to get that together. And they just relaunched last Monday on Hulu, Hulu Plus, and on iTunes.
There have to be people who are huge fans of All My Children, One Life to Live, who are like on their knees crying to have their characters
so excited. Back. Well, the interesting part was because I knew of these guys and I knew what they were doing, we knew it was coming back, but there was a whole movement, the Save the Soaps network, that everybody was outraged that they were gone, and then dying to have them back and fighting to get them back. And then they were going to launch them a year ago, but they didn't have all their contracts together, so they had to really work to get all the unions together and get all that. But yeah, our company was based on the idea of, like I said, flip the script. Basically for us was taking a negative situation and turning it into a positive. Yeah. And so we took the negative of losing our shows and said, look, there's millions of fans out there, and if you have millions of fans, you have a show. Yeah. And you'll find a way for it to reemerge. So we started developing Paos as a company, and Paos is soap spelled backwards, and that's the flip of the script. Okay. And then the other thing that we added to it recently, and it's been a plan all along, but it's what we just recently launched, is a theme of one family, one goal, stay together. Because you get all these inner fights from any group and anything you do, but also within the soap world. Yeah. You have the One Life to Live fans that don't like the AMC fans, and you have the GH fans that don't like it. So you have all of those things together, and you have people fighting each other when their genre is going away. Right. So we wanted to pool their resources and get them there, and what we wanted to do was create a situation on our website with paosrevolution.com is a place for them to get to know those people for real, because daytime is different than everything else as far as acting goes. You really know the character, and you never actually really know the actor. Right. You know, it's like I got the pleasure of working with Susan Lucci, and I got to work with her, and she was such a professional and such a great person.
She's a goddess. Let's just say that. She's a goddess. She's a brilliant actress and a lovely woman and a humanitarian, but we get to see her be a Bubba Witch when she's her character.
Well, and that's it, and everyone knows her as Erica, but if you really get to know Susan, she's not Erica. You know, but that's a big part of her life. She played that character longer than I've been alive.
Right.
You know,
it's amazing.
That was an interesting thing, coaching with her and helping her with her stuff, and with a character that's been around longer than I have. But
and she looks brilliant too. I'm sure there's a painting that's aging under a bed somewhere because she looks young.
She does, and she's great. And that whole group, like I said, like getting to know someone like her or Jordi, who's one of our partners, who's a part of this Perfect Day episode that we'll talk about as well, it's such a great way to get to know these people. Yeah. You know, rather than the TMZ world that we live in, where everything that is reality TV is gossip, is negative, is all that, we wanted to create a situation which you could have a positive view of who these people are, whether they're directors, actors, whatever it is, and get to hear their real words rather than an interview that gets skewed in a different direction. So.
Well, that's a really cool thing. So you have a website that people can go to if you love the stories, as we all have some aunt or someone in our family that love the stories. Right. If you love soaps, that you can go to this site and check out and find more. But what's the website?
The website is www.paosrevolution.com. It's Paos Revolution.
Soap backwards.
Which is soapbackwards.com.
Okay. Now all of that, you go, what does this have to do with autism, Shannon?
Right.
Well, we mentioned before that you have started working on a show called Perfect Day.
Right.
Okay, tell us what the Perfect Day is.
Okay, Perfect Day is a show that myself and my business partner John Homa created, and we were opposed to, again, all the negative end of reality TV, and begrudgingly did not create anything in that world for a very long time. This show was built out of a positive level, kind of like the feel of Extreme Home Makeover, where you can take a good thing and do it for somebody. And in the soap world, it fit perfectly for us to launch with Paos as something we'll have on our website, in that it's a show that takes a fan and allows them to spend a perfect day with a favorite star of theirs.
Yeah.
And it also gives that star, in getting to know those people. The thing that I'm sure you know and that I know is many of these people use their celebrity situation in a very positive way that no one hears about. Right. And they're all attached to certain charities. Right. So what we wanted to do is take the charity that's most special to that person and allow them to highlight that throughout their perfect day. Yeah. So in doing a pilot episode, selfishly, I wanted to do something great for my sister, who was a big part of why I understood the daytime world, because I grew up with them. My mom and my sister watching them for hours on end, and especially in the VCR days, they were recorded all day, and mom came home, turned them on, and then fell asleep on the couch watching them.
Yes.
And so they were on for 8-9 hours a day.
Right.
So much so to the point that when I first walked into my first meeting with the casting director, after when I first moved to Hollywood, I got to meet the casting director for Young and the Restless, and that was their show.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the waiting room, and the guy who plays Jack walks in, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Uncle Jack! You know, it's like, oh my God, this is crazy.
It's funny.
Yeah, and it's so familiar, and it's such a great thing. And Jane is a huge fan of the daytime world, and also having a son, Ryan, who's 13 and is autistic. That was her escape in many ways.
Right.
And the coolest part about it that I didn't realize until she told me was, one of the people who is my good friend, and one of the actors I worked with on the show for so long at All My Children, was her favorite actor and her favorite escape, and that's Jordi Villasuso, who's my partner in Paos Revolution.
Oh, how nice.
So I thought
it's a full circle moment.
It's a full circle moment, and it keeps to the one family thing. Jane is my family, but so is Jordi, and so is the entire world of that. And again, because of my association with Jane, I've become more and more versed as best I can in the autism world, because Ryan is the most amazing kid, you know, and they're so happy, and there's so many great things about them. You just want to do something great for him, but more so, and the thing I focus on, because it's my sister, I focus on the moms. Yeah. No one talks about the moms. It's always about the kids. Yeah. You know, and I wanted to
we do here.
Oh, I know you do.
We're the
of course you do.
We always talk about, and the dads too, because for the families, this is a thing.
It's an investment.
This is a journey that's difficult, and we need to be supporting the entire family.
Right.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're doing that.
Great.
And I love the fact that it started very personally with your sister, but you're wanting to take this idea and spread it to a whole lot of people.
We're going to spread it to a whole lot of people. The first episode is around the world of autism, but we're going to touch the lives of however many people we can, and however many charities we can.
Which is lovely.
And the thing, then what we spoke of, off camera, about the fact that I love groups like Autism Speaks, that are the big groups that we all have heard of, and all of us can rally to, and hopefully they'll help with the longevity of everything that we need progression-wise. Yeah. But what we want to try to do too with our show, because we're a small company, we want to help small groups too.
Yes.
And so what we're going to be highlighting for this, and 10% of everything that we get for our budget, we're doing an Indiegogo crowd fundraiser to raise the money to do this episode. We need $25,000 to do it properly.
Right.
And 10% of what we get from that is going to go to Jacob's Ladder, which is the place where Ryan goes weekly to get his progression, and that's the place that is continuing to help my sister's life get better, and continue to help Ryan in every way they can. So we want to shine a great light on them, and it's going to be a great way to get them some recognition, as well as speaking of the Autism Speaks world and all that. But then also we'll move into other episodes, maybe Make-A-Wish, it may be St. Jude's, it may be Cancer Society, whatever it might be. We're going to find the one that fits that celebrity and the charity that they feel best about, and each one will take place in a different city with a different charity with a different fan.
And you'll allow people to nominate people to be the recipients of, because I think that's a cool thing.
That's exactly, and everything about what we do, because we're an online company, is interactive. So we have a Facebook page, Paos Revolution. We have our Twitter at Paos Revolution, and we have all those things in which we're constantly doing stuff to involve everyone, and we want people's advice, and we want we put out a poll on our website to ask who would you like to see a perfect day with, or who would want to participate in that, and we will be doing that kind of stuff as well.
So for our viewers at home, we're going to take a break in just a second, then we're going to be joined by your sister to talk about Jacob's Ladder and to talk about Ryan and what's going on with him, so that we see, you know, the other side of this. But if somebody is interested and they say, you know, I'm sick and tired of watching all the things that I watch on television, and, you know, they don't want to watch TMZ, and they want to see more of this kind of thing, and they want to support Perfect Day, they can go to Indiegogo. What are they looking for when they get there to find your individual?
If you, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
If you go to Perfect Day, or if you go to Indiegogo and you just put in the search bar Perfect Day, you'll see our logo will pop up, and it's a P with a little color splash in the middle of the P, and it just says Perfect Day, and you go on there, and there's all kinds of options. You can donate however much you want. We have reward systems for it, whether it's a $5 donation, a $10, $20, whatever it might be, and a lot of the rewards are soap based. But you know, if you're not a soap fan and you just want to give, you can give, and you'll get a thank you. You'll get it on our website. You'll get we're doing all kinds of different things, and you can read which ones are there. And if you have any suggestions on anything, you can go to our Facebook page and make a suggestion as well as to what you would like to see. But what we're trying to do with all of them is we're making our own autism bracelets that will go with each of those as well. And so that will go out to everybody with our Paos, you know, supports autism on it, and it's a great way to get the word out.
Wonderful. All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by your sister, whose name is Jane Roscoe.
Jane Roscoe.
Okay, so an autism mom, and she's going to be talking about what Perfect Day means to her, Jacob's Ladder, which is going to be featured in the pilot, and about her journey. So stick with us. Welcome back to Autism Live. I am here with our special guest, Jeff Dockweiler, Doc to all of us now, who has started the Paos Revolution, and they are working on a project called Perfect Day, and we are joined right now via Skype by your sister, who is Jane Roscoe. There she is.
Hey, Jane.
So thrilled to have you. Now, Jane, which part of the world are you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, well, greetings in Atlanta. And you have two sons, one of whom is on the spectrum. Is that correct?
He is, yes. My oldest son, Ryan, is almost 14.
Wow. So so you've been on this journey for a while, but I understand from your brother that you've received a great deal of help and support from a local organization. Tell us about Jacob's Ladder.
Okay. Actually, they came into our lives probably the most critical time. Jeff knows I'm going to cry.
That's okay. I cry every day. We have tissues here, but I can't pass you one via Skype.
Well, what Jane's really going to cry about is when we have her sing.
Oh, dear. Okay. All right.
Jacob's Ladder is a neurodevelopmental learning center that is amazing. Okay.
That's okay.
Take a deep breath. Amy Odell started it. It's a journey of Jacob, her son. And I think we all go through this, where you get diagnosed and they give you a waiting list.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry.
It's okay.
Jane, you didn't even let me make you cry.
No. Trust me.
So she started this, her and her husband started this center, started the process of we want answers, researching, like pretty much what we all do. And we embraced her because she's a mom. She walks our shoes, in our shoes.
Yeah.
And I guess from 2003 to 2005, Ryan went there. Crucial time of our lives. He was 2 to 4 years old, just would melt down, couldn't do anything. I mean, seriously and I had a newborn, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But basically they just did so much for us. And we always evolve back to them every time, money situations, and, we all know that walk of life too. Yeah. And, of course, my dog's going to bark, which I said.
Okay. Hey, we keep it real here. We're a live show and we talk about kids, so we keep it real.
I want to tell you, though, I am so tickled that God has a plan, because I have watched y'all probably the last 2 weeks, knowing we were going to do this, not even knowing y'all existed, needing, I put y'all on and I just cook in my kitchen or I do laundry because so many people give me articles. Oh, Jane, have you tried this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
And they're trying to help, but I don't have the time to focus on sitting down and reading articles. So y'all are awesome.
Well, thanks. We're new fans of yours too. So it's all good. But I'm thrilled that, one of the first things that I always ask when your brother came in and he was telling me about Ryan, and I said, is he getting good help? And he said, yes, they're getting great help. And that's a part of this story that you want to tell on Perfect Day. And I'm always wanting parents to know that there is help out there because there are a whole lot of people who don't know yet.
Right.
So we're thrilled.
The hardest thing that we had with Ryan was Ryan is going to be he'll be 14 June 2nd. And back then, this was the new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat when he was 6 months old and watched the 60 Minutes thing on the thimerosal, people don't want to immunize their kid and whatever. We had it sat down and talked to our pediatrician about that, not knowing we were going to even walk this journey.
Yeah.
So when we got diagnosed, I nannied my whole, I'm sure Jeff told you all about me before I got on here. But
all your deep, dark secrets.
You said what?
No, I said all your deep, dark secrets.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he told me almost nothing. He said what a wonderful person you are and that you're a great autism mom and a great mom and a great sister.
Oh, thank you.
So that's all that's been said.
Okay. Well, I nannied, and I was a mommy's helper at 9. I'm just a very big nurturer, caretaker, love children, and we did the whole walk of life of 12. Seriously, hit every milestone early. Eye contact, proper behavior, nothing. And at 12 months old, he got his MMR shot, and we lost him.
So sorry. It's a story that we hear a lot.
Oh, 105 fever. We seriously, 5 days after after the fever broke and whatever, thought he was going deaf because he wouldn't answer his name anymore. And it was really interesting because we, of course, didn't have any clue of that, not even correlating that really. But we took him to 2 specialists. We had this massive hearing test done, and they were like, he has, it didn't mean anything to us then, but they were like, he has hypersensitive hearing. He hears very well.
Yeah.
Well, thinking, well, what happened? And then progressively, and it's all a matter of our own opinions, but I am definitely one of those that gets frustrated if people say there's no correlation, because really Ryan's story, there's not, every child's different on the spectrum, but there's not any other real, he had ear infections growing up, so he was on antibiotics a lot, which depleted his immune system, that kind of stuff. But really, there was no other indication. But as we, of course, I continued to get his shots all the way through 2, and by 2, he was just gone.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I can't tell you how sorry I am to hear your story, but how proud I am of you that that didn't stop you, and that you're a pioneer, and that you at a time when there wasn't as much information out there, you got the help you needed. And I think that that's a story that more parents need to be aware of. So I'm thrilled that they're going to showcase your story for Perfect Day.
I'm so excited.
And I believe that you deserve a perfect day.
She does.
You've been through a lot.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah, well, and one of the things I wanted to say, because I saw one of your clips before, is we have to be the biggest advocate. But we're all they got.
Yes.
And it's really interesting, when we realized something was going on with him, back then, there was no gluten-free food, and I was making everything and learning everything on my own. There was I was on they could get me in for OT, which I didn't even know what OT was.
Yeah.
Speech therapy and stuff, but I was on a 9-month waiting list. So seriously, I would drive my child. I went through Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, so my insurance would actually cover that part. And I drove an hour and a half one way for a 45-minute session where my kids screaming his head off the whole time, and they couldn't really get anything done for a year. I mean, for at least a year and a half, 3 or 4 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah, and you do what you have to do. I mean,
yes, ma'am.
It's one of those things. I mean, we have done every therapy. We have done, one of the biggest things I'd love to say to people too, it's so easy for us to say, oh my God, Susie's child got glasses, these special glasses, and they went to New York and they did this, or they did this, and we all want our babies better, so we all want to go try it. Mm-hmm. Every child is so different, and you don't know what's going to work for them.
Absolutely.
And the hardest part about that is one of our biggest successes where Ryan is very happy, and everything else is that he, I always did one thing at a time. That way I knew it either worked or it didn't work, because we get so caught up in putting him in 20 different things. Well, you never know what's really working for them.
Absolutely. Well, Jane, we are sisters from different mothers. Is what we are, because you're singing my song, and I.
So I can't even tell. It came at the best time in our lives, because we took a couple of years. We're in a great school system, but we took a couple of years because of finances and everything else. That we're doing this new neurofeedback, and I don't know if y'all have heard of that or not. It's a fascinating thing that we're doing at Jacob's Ladder right now, that I'm doing on the side of his just going to school.
Wow.
But
wonderful.
But we've been doing, we have, we're trying to find information again, because I took a little break so I could actually kind of come to my family and not be obsessed with researching.
It's important to take that time. But I want to go back a little bit to talk about Perfect Day and the fact that this lovely mom is going to get a perfect day. What do you have planned for her, Doc?
Well, the plan is going to...
Does she know? Is it a secret?
She doesn't totally know.
Don't listen, Jane.
So Jane, cover your ears. But no, what we want to do is give her a break from her normal day.
Yeah.
So what we will do within the episode is we will highlight what she goes through at first. And one of the things that we will do that she knows we're going to do, unless, of course, you know how filming things goes. Sometimes you can't get rights to location type thing. Her son Ryan, and you talk about a trooper, Jane drives down to Georgia Tech. Was it Friday or Saturday, Jane?
Saturday.
Every Saturday with my mom, they walk a certain route with Ryan, because he loves looking at the big buildings and going to the Georgia Tech bookstore. So what we'll do is we'll start with letting everyone see her home environment, let Jordy see where she lives, and that'll be a great thing for her. And then we'll go, because Jordy's going to be our star in that one, and we'll have them go off and do the walk with Ryan, and then when they're done with the walk, I'm going to have my mom take Ryan and take care of Ryan for the day, and allow Jane the chance to go do whatever it is she wants to do, and whether it's going to a spa, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's going to a restaurant, not having to think about it at all, whatever the situation may be. There's going to be I don't want to give too much of what they're going to do, because I would love for people to watch. She's got a few plans of her own as to what she wants to do, and we'll get her and Jordy to go enjoy an incredible day.
Jane, you need to make Jordy take you to get a pedicure, a mani-pedi. Make him do it. Absolutely. Well, you guys are an amazing family. I think this is an amazing project. We want to remind everybody that the way that they can help you to do this is to go to Indiegogo, look up Perfect Day, and then take a look. And you said you've got some incentives, so that if you donate something, you get something in return. We love those kinds of things. Anything you want to showcase?
We have autographed photos of the stars from the daytime shows that are in support of what we're doing. We have signed scripts, but we also have T-shirts. We have we have just little knickknacks like magnets, calendar magnets for your refrigerator and things of that nature. And we're going to continue adding more and more stuff. But it would be great especially because we want to get the word out as much as we can for autism. To get as much participation from your fan base and all the other ones that we're talking to. We've had it up for about 30 days now, and we've only raised around $2,000 to $3,000 of the 25 that we need. So we need people to start jumping on board so that we can get this and make this happen.
Okay, so here's my my suggestion to everybody who's watching. Whether you're a soap fan, you all know somebody who's a soap fan.
Absolutely.
So that's the person you need to call today and say, hey, I watched this thing.
Right.
And, down the road, we could do this together where they're going to do this pilot episode, and later on down the road, you can nominate me and you get to meet your soap fan.
Absolutely.
But let's make the pilot happen.
We have to make the pilot happen
Talk them
first.
into that and say they're going to be supporting this autism mom for the pilot, so it's a good thing. And this is how you're going to, maybe I'll get you some sort of treat from a soap person.
Wonderful.
But sell it to them that way, because you all know some soap fans who would love this.
Absolutely, and it starts with one. And if you're not a soap fan, but you are also not a fan of negative reality shows, this is our first wave of starting a positive reality show that can actually have a good impact and make you feel good, in the process of getting entertained.
And it's autism awareness, and awareness for a bunch of things as well, which we know we're out of time, unfortunately. But so nice to meet you, and so nice to meet you, Jane. And what a lovely family. You'll have to come back when the pilot's done.
I will. Well, I would love to come back, and then we'll also touch base on a movie that I'm writing that we'll talk about next time, called Silent Partner. It's inspired by what Jane's been through and Ryan, and how he's affected my life, and it's a great story that we hope to be making next year.
Cool. Very cool. We'll look forward to hearing about all that. Thank you all so much. Remember, you can go to Paos Revolution, that's soap spelled backwards, revolution.com, and then go to Indiegogo and look up Perfect Day.
Absolutely.
And share that on your Facebook so that we can get this pilot made.
You can find us on Facebook. You can also follow us at Paos Revolution on Twitter.
Okay, fabulous.
Lovely.